Good evening, everyone, and we are here to set the base for SBR. SBR, Strategic Business Reporting, is basically financial reporting. Financial reporting is preparation of financial statements, but before you do that, you should know how exactly are transactions recorded. Now, when you learn any language, when you learned English for the first time in your life, there were certain rules that you worked with, right? I mean, there were certain grammar related rules. What do I mean by that? Uh, you never say I are going, right? You say I am going. So there were certain grammar rules कि यार ये pronoun के साथ ये verb use करो and he के साथ ये use करो, she के साथ वो use करो, whatever it is. So a language had its own set of rules. Accounting is also a language that you are using for preparing the financial statements. Uska base hai the accounting language, which means that this language also has its own set of rules that you are supposed to follow. Now, the idea of accounting, let's take a step back. Financial reporting तो बहुत बाद में आता है. Let's take a step back to understand where does it all start. Whenever a financial transaction takes place, ठीक है, whenever a financial transaction takes place, that leads to some income, some expense, something, some payable, some receivable, multiple aspects are affected in that transaction. And all financial transactions where basically money is involved, those need to be recorded by the company, by the entity, so that it can prepare its balance sheet, profit and loss account, cash flow statement. वो सब बनाने के लिए you need to record every single transaction that takes place. And the process by which you record all the financial transactions is called bookkeeping. ठीक है, 11th स्टैंडर्ड के बुक का मतलब सब्जेक्ट का नाम याद करो. इट वाज बुक कीपिंग एंड अकाउंटेंसी, right? And what are books of accounts? The place where all financial transactions are recorded is called books of accounts. Now, earlier, there used to be physical books of accounts, right? If you come from a business family, I'm sure you have seen it. Those red color, books and registers, and you would write transactions there. My father, a doctor, my grandmother, a doctor. हम मतलब in the clinic, when they would collect cash from patients, 30 rupees, 60 rupees, whatever they would collect, they would write down the name Sean Roy, 30 rupees, Satyamed Nandedkar, 70 rupees. So that was their place of record. See, unke case mein the transactions were very simple. Cash collection from patients, payment to supplier of medicine. Itna hi simple tha activity. So that was books of accounts for them. For a company, it will be your purchase book, sales book, where all purchases are recorded, sales book where sales are recorded, cash book where all the cash transactions are recorded. So recording of transaction is the first step. ठीक है. Now, how to ensure that all transactions relating to Urvaksh are recorded in one place. All transactions relating to the new car that I have purchased are recorded in one place. If somebody asks me that Satyamet, tell me what is the cash balance right now, and what I do is I have recorded 5,000 transactions from the start of the year till today, and then my I open my register. I write down plus 1000, then I write minus 200, then I write plus 500, then I write minus 100. मेरे बॉस ने अभी पूछा है at 10:22 PM, सत्यमेत व्हाट इज द कैश बैलेंस. एंड मैं रजिस्टर खोल के बैठ जाता हूँ, 5,000 एंट्रीज, आई एम पंचिंग, राइटिंग एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. एक थप्पड़ मार के ही विल फायर मी फ्रॉम द कंपनी. ये क्या है? I am asking you what is the cash balance. Tell me what is the cash balance right now. For that, I need to ensure that all the transactions which involve cash are summarized in one place. That place where the transactions are summarized is called an account. An account is a place where all transactions relating to that particular person, that particular item are written. So if there is a person called Priyanshu, I sold goods to Priyanshu. I recorded that. And I collected cash from Priyanshu. I recorded that. So I'm recording that in a place which is called as the account. For every person, Priyanshu, there will be an account. For Satyamed, there will be an account. For someone else, also there will be an account. So an account is a place where all transactions are recorded and summarized. अब ये जो account है, think about it. There is a Priyanshu account, building account, Satyamedh account, Plutus account. millions of accounts are there. बट अगर मैं बोलूंगा दिस वे कि यार इफ आई वांट टू डू अकाउंटिंग आई नीड रूल्स, ग्रेट, यू नीड रूल्स, बट हाउ डू यू मेक अ मिलियन रूल्स? शॉन इज इन बैंगलोर तो उसके लिए अलग रूल, प्रियांशु इज इन गुड़गांव तो उसके लिए अलग रूल, सत्यमेद इज इन नोएडा तो सम एंड ही इज अ 34-year old मैन, उसके लिए अलग रूल. You can't be doing things that way, right? You need someone, you, because if million rules are there, you will spend all your life just memorizing the rules and you will never be able to do accounting. So for ease of accounting, what we did was we broke down or we categorized all the accounts that we are going to deal with into three categories. Personal account, which was for all persons, real or artificial. Satyamed, Vikhyati, Sean, all of us are real persons. Plutus Education and Reliance India Limited and all of these are artificial persons. So when I say personal account, all humans and companies and artificial persons will be considered under this category of personal accounts. ठीक है. The second category of accounts is real accounts, which is for all the things, so to say, table, chair, cash, vehicle, phone, all the tangible, real things basically, not human beings, come under the category of real accounts. And last category है nominal accounts. Nominal accounts are all expenses and incomes. So salary, rent, and interest income, and all of these, where do we classify them? We classify them under nominal accounts. जब the 10,000 million accounts can be split into three categories, that means we only have to learn three rules. तीन अलग अलग अकाउंट टाइप के लिए आप रूल याद कर लो, अप्लाई दैट रूल एंड अकाउंटिंग बिकम्स एक्सट्रीमली सिंपल. ठीक है. अब the system or the accounting principle that we apply is the double entry system of accounting. I am sure you have studied double entry system of accounting in the past. Why do we call it double entry? एक बार ना मैंने ये पूछने का गलती कर दिया था एक नॉलेज लेवल बैच में. एंड नॉलेज लेवल बैच में यू ऑल्सो हैव पीपल हु हैव डन ग्रेजुएशन 11th 12th तो करके आए हैं. After explaining the full concept, I asked someone, why do we call it double entry? The student said, we'll record every entry twice. I said, माफ कर दो यार, ऐसे शॉक्स भी मत दो मुझे, और थोड़ा कोई लोग कैमरा ऑन कर लो. It's 10:26, very cold. I'm feeling bored. If I don't see faces, I will sleep. हाँ, चलो. सो मैंने जब पूछा कि व्हाट इज डबल एंट्री, आई गॉट दिस एक्सट्रीमली सिली आंसर, अरे record the entry twice. No. Double entry system of accounting is, I would say, a very balanced system of accounting. Why? Because for every debit, there is an equal and corresponding credit. But debit and credit are terms that come a little later. The first step that you should, or the first thing that you should understand is, at in my bank account right now, there are 10,000 rupees. How much can I spend? I can only spend 10,000, right? उसके ऊपर मैं spend नहीं कर सकता. जितना है उतना ही spend हो सकता है. Right. So whenever we talk about accounting, whenever we talk about money, there is an inherent balance involved in financial transactions. You cannot spend more than you have. Okay, so when it comes to see, and ultimately at the end of the day, it is about spending and the receipts and the income that you have. What came in and what went out, ultimately that has to be balanced. And if you want to present that perspective, it is necessary that you use a system of accounting which does justice to that, which is why we have the double entry system of accounting, which says, and accounting ka language is like, in English, you have English grammar, which is the language of accounting. So, which is the set of rules for the English language. The set of rules for accounting are basically created through debit and credit. Now, I'm not sure how you were taught debit and credit in the past, but debit and credit are two ways of ensuring that every transaction gets its equivalent balance in the financial statements. What do I mean by that? If I sell goods to Sean, I know that and I sell goods to Sean on credit, okay, which means Sean hasn't paid me. If I sell goods to Sean worth 5,000 on credit, उसका implication ये होगा कि I have to collect 5,000 rupees from him. That is going to come in the future. But when I sold goods, those items went out of my business. So something went out and something else came in, which is why when we are defining the rules for accounting, when we are defining the language for accounting, the first thing that we did was we split our we basically categorized all our accounts into three categories: real, personal, nominal. After that, we broke it down and we said now we are going to introduce some rules, and those rules will be defined on the basis of uh, the account categories that we have made. Okay, so the which is why we have the double entry system of accounting. For every debit there is an equal and corresponding credit. Point one. Point two, आपको ना 11th 12th में, maybe in 12th standard, you had a chapter called accounts from incomplete records. कुछ याद आ रहा है? Statement of affairs you used to make, opening statement of affairs, closing statement of affairs, right? और आपके कॉलेज टीचर्स क्या बोलते थे? सिंगल एंट्री. आई एम श्योर दे कॉल्ड इट दैट, सिंगल एंट्री. देर इज नो सच थिंग एज सिंगल एंट्री. ऐसा कोई सिस्टम ऑफ अकाउंटिंग नहीं है. वट देवर ट्राइंग टू से इज दैट टॉपिक वॉज अकाउंट्स फ्रॉम इनकम्प्लीट रिकॉर्ड्स. आधा अधूरा रिकॉर्ड करके रखा है. ठीक है. But we don't use that system of accounting. We use the double entry system of accounting. It is quite like Newton's third law. Na? For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For every debit, there is an equal and corresponding credit. 10,000 का debit किया तो 10,000 का credit होगा. Now, let's understand how are accounting entries recorded. I have created a four-step model to do that. ठीक है. Step one will be identify the accounts involved. ठीक है. What is step one? Identify the accounts involved. Every transaction that takes place impacts a minimum of two accounts. And step one में अपना काम क्या है? Identify the accounts. First transaction, car purchased for 6 lakh and cash paid. What are the two accounts? Car account and cash account. Cash received from a person called Jay, cash account and Jay account. Cash paid to Muhammad, cash account and Muhammad account. To identify which accounts are involved, which items are getting impacted. Salary paid in cash 4 lakh, salary and cash. सैलरी है. वी आर नॉट डिस्कसिंग कि यार ये एक्सपेंस है या ये क्या है. वी आर नॉट डूइंग दैट. वी आर ओनली आइडेंटिफाइंग द अकाउंट्स इन्वॉल्व, सैलरी एंड कैश. देन maybe a transaction is rent income received in cash 80,000. Two accounts involved are rent income and cash. ठीक है. So whenever you want to record a transaction, the first step you should think about is identify the accounts involved. ये particular transaction में, for example, the company has raised 50 lakh rupees by way of issuing shares. What are the two accounts involved? Bank account and share capital account. ठीक है. That is your first step. Identify the accounts. Second step is you have to classify the accounts into three categories: real, personal, and nominal. Personal means any person, real or artificial, will be classed under personal account. Real account is for all the things, and nominal account is for all the incomes and expenses. When I say car purchased for 6 lakh and cash paid, step one में मैंने identify किया था one account is car account, another account is cash account. ठीक है. तो car is a thing, real account. Cash is also a thing, real account. Cash received from Jay. Jay is a person, personal account. Cash is a thing, real account. ठीक है. Cash paid to Muhammad. Cash is a thing, real account. Muhammad is a person, personal account. ठीक है. Salary paid in cash. Salary pay किया, खर्चा, expense. Salary is a nominal account. Cash is a thing that you are using, real account. Rent income received in cash. Rent income is nominal account. Why? What are all incomes and expenses? All incomes and expenses are nominal accounts. Cash is a real account. It is a thing. Step two कर लिया, classification of accounts into real, personal, nominal. Step 3, write down the rule. Now, these are the three golden rules of accounting, something that you should learn and you should know by heart. For personal account, the rule is debit the receiver, credit the giver. But let's make it a little more elaborate. Instead of just saying debit the receiver, you should say debit the receiver of benefit, credit the giver of benefit. रियल अकाउंट का रूल है डेबिट व्हाट कम्स इन क्रेडिट व्हाट गोज आउट. नॉमिनल अकाउंट का रूल है डेबिट ऑल एक्सपेंसेस एंड लॉसेस क्रेडिट ऑल इनकम्स एंड गेन्स. Now we'll practice some questions, don't worry. But if I purchased goods on credit from Sean, accounting entry is purchase account debit to Sean account. Why? Please understand. What are the two accounts involved? Purchase account and Sean account. Now, purchase of goods for the business is a kharcha, it is an expense. What is the rule for expense is a nominal account. Nominal account का rule है debit all expenses and losses. So you will debit purchase account. Sean is a you will debit purchase account. Sean is a person, personal account. Sean gave me the goods, right? Sean is the giver of benefit, giver of goods. ठीक है. So what does the rule for personal account say? Credit the giver. So I credited Sean account. Now let's go to these transactions. ठीक है. Step 1, identify the accounts. Step 2, apply the rule. Sorry, step 2, classify the accounts. Step 3, write down the rules. And step 4, apply the rules. ठीक है. Car purchased for 6 lakh and cash paid. Two accounts involved were car account and cash account. Car is also real, cash is also real. What does the rule for real account say? Debit what comes in, credit what goes out. When you purchased car for cash, car came in, debit what comes in, car account debited. You paid cash, credit what goes out, cash goes out. Credit cash account, accounting entry is car account debit to cash account. Now if you observe carefully, see how I have written by car account debit to cash account credit. आपको जब 11th 12th में पढ़ाते हैं, nobody basically tells you कि debit के पहले you should write by, right? And they also somehow forget to write the credit. But the correct way to frame an accounting entry is ये account debit to ये account credit, by car account debit to cash account credit. Throughout my notes, you will never find me writing car account debit to cash account. It is always by car account debit to cash account credit. Yes, Gaurang, tell me.
Sir, just for the confirmation, according to the ACCA pattern, isn't it that we write debit car account and then credit cash account? Is it?
I knew this question was going to come. Accounting is accounting. Okay? That is how they write it in their books. But this is how you will frame the entry. There is no ACCA way or Indian CA ka method or US CPA ka method. Debit is debit, credit is credit, universal language hai. You should always frame the transaction as by so and so account debit to so and so account credit. आपको जैसे लिखना है वैसे लिखो, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट डेबिट सही अकाउंट को करो, क्रेडिट सही अकाउंट को करो. ठीक है. ये कॉलेज में बताया कि सीनियर ने बताया?
College.
कॉलेज. देखो भाई, अकाउंटिंग तो अकाउंटिंग है. इतना सब करने के बाद भी एंट्री गलत पास करके आ गए तो क्या फायदा. एंड द रीजन आई एम स्पेंडिंग टाइम ऑन दिस इज ना, आई विल टेल यू. व्हाट इज द नेम ऑफ योर क्वालिफिकेशन? ACCA फुल फॉर्म बताना तो प्रियांशु.
एसोसिएशन ऑफ चार्टर्ड सर्टिफाइड अकाउंटेंट.
हाँ. तो चार्टर्ड सर्टिफाइड ये सब अब बाद में बनना, पहले अकाउंटेंट तो ढंग के बन जाओ. Step 1, become an accountant. Then you become chartered, certified, whatever it is that you want to become. This is a big problem that I see in ACCA students throughout. SBR लिख के आ जाते हैं, डेबिट क्रेडिट नहीं आता है. एंड व्हेन यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग, आपका बॉस पीटेगा आपको अगर डेबिट क्रेडिट नहीं आता है ना, लिटरली पीटेगा. फिर ट्रॉमा वामा हो सकता है ना. वो सब नहीं होना है ना, इसीलिए आई एम डूइंग इट. Urvax, do you work in an audit firm?
I did an internship in an audit firm
Yes.
last year in Deloitte.
Oh,
Not a great
lovely.
not a great experience, I would say.
Okay.
But currently, I'm working in a bank, and it's far better than working in a Big Four.
Okay. आई अंडरस्टैंड दैट गाइस अनदर थिंग कल चल के आपने गलत एंट्री बताया तो आपको सामने वाला बंदा बोलेगा तुमको अकाउंट्स किसने पढ़ाया। गलत एंट्री बता के मेरा नाम मत बताना कि इसने पढ़ाया करके। गेट ऑल योर कॉन्सेप्ट्स क्लैरिफाइड राइट नाउ। किसी ने ये नहीं बोलना चाहिए कि ऐसे ही स्टूडेंट्स को पास करा दिया। यू गेट 51 इन SBR, आई डोंट हैव अ प्रॉब्लम, बट अकाउंटिंग शुड बी ऑन पॉइंट। That is non-negotiable. For if you want to be called a chartered accountant, become an accountant first. Cash received from Jay. Cash is a real account. Jay is a personal account. Jay gave me cash. है ना? Cash is a real account. Cash came in. Debit what comes in. Cash account debit. Who is Jay? Jay is the giver of cash. He is the giver of benefit. Credit the giver. Buy cash account debit to Jay account credit. ठीक है। ये जो आप लिखते हो ना, बीइंग कैश रिसीव फ्रॉम जय, दिस इज कॉल्ड नरेशन। एंड रियल लाइफ में ये लिखना पड़ता है। नाउ देर इज नो ACCA वे और CA वे ऑफ डूइंग दिस। रियल लाइफ डिमांड्स दैट यू राइट अ नरेशन। एवरी अकाउंटिंग एंट्री हैज टू बी अकम्पनीड बाय अ नरेशन। ठीक है। इफ यू आर पेइंग कैश टू अ पर्सन कॉल्ड मोहम्मद, कैश इज अ रियल अकाउंट थिंग है, मोहम्मद पर्सन है, पर्सनल अकाउंट। डेबिट द पर्सनल अकाउंट का रूल है डेबिट द रिसीवर क्रेडिट द गिवर। मोहम्मद इज अ पर्सन, डेबिट द रिसीवर। मोहम्मद रिसीव्ड कैश फ्रॉम when you gave cash, Muhammad was the receiver of that benefit. By Muhammad account debit to cash account credit, what goes out, cash is going out. ठीक है। नेक्स्ट ट्रांजैक्शन, सैलरी पेड इन कैश। what is salary? Expense. Expenses are nominal accounts. What does the rule say? Debit all expenses and losses. Salary is an expense, debit salary. Cash, cash is a thing, cash is going out, credit cash. ठीक है। दिस इज हाउ यू विल रिकॉर्ड द अकाउंटिंग एंट्री। रेंटल इनकम रिसीव्ड, रेंट इज व्हाट, रेंटल इनकम है, इनकम मतलब नॉमिनल अकाउंट। व्हाट डज द रूल फॉर नॉमिनल अकाउंट से? डेबिट ऑल एक्सपेंसेस एंड लॉसेस, क्रेडिट ऑल इनकम्स एंड गेन्स। रेंट इज एन इनकम, क्रेडिट रेंट इनकम। एंड somebody gave you rent na, cash came in debit cash account, by cash account debit to rent income account. This is how you should record accounting entries. What is our 4-step process? Step 1, identify the accounts. Satyamed account and cash account, Priyanshu account and bank account. Identify the accounts involved. Step 2, classify the accounts into real, personal, nominal. Step 3, write down the rule. Step 4, apply the rule and frame the entry. ठीक है। दिस इज हाउ यू आर सपोज टू डू द एक्ट ऑफ अकाउंटिंग। नाउ अ कपल ऑफ इंपॉर्टेंट टर्म्स फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड। ये अभी थोड़ा मैं बेसिक 11th 12th स्टैंडर्ड लेवल का बता रहा हूँ। ठीक है। कंसेप्चुअल फ्रेमवर्क में वी हैव सीन अ होल डिफरेंट सेट ऑफ डेफिनेशंस प्रॉपर्ली। What is asset? Anything which I own or which I control, which is going to give me future economic benefit, is an asset. Or anything which can be converted into cash or is cash itself. Money receivable from a customer it is going to get converted to cash. Cash in my wallet, also an asset. What is an expense? Money spent on something which gives immediate or current benefit. Asset gives you future economic benefit, expense gives you current benefit. लैपटॉप खरीदा, 5 साल यूज किया, फ्यूचर इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट। 20 रुपीज दिया, चिप्स खरीदा, खा लिया, करंट बेनिफिट। सो एक्सपेंसेस गिव यू करंट बेनिफिट, असेट गिव्स यू लॉन्ग टर्म फ्यूचर बेनिफिट। ठीक है। व्हाट इज लाइबिलिटी? लाइबिलिटी इज एन ऑब्लिगेशन टू पे समथिंग। ऑब्लिगेशन मतलब कंपल्शन। अमाउंट्स पेएबल आर योर लाइबिलिटी। What is income? Money received or receivable against goods sold or services performed. I am performing a service in front of you right now, है ना? And you are paying me for that. That is my income. Now, in accounting, please remember the terms purchase and sale have to be used with a lot of caution. If I'm using purchase account, it should be used only when the entity is buying raw material for use in production or goods for the purpose of main trading activity. ठीक है। If I am a furniture maker, I buy what all do I need to make furniture? I need wood, I need glue, I need cloth, nut, bolt. तो To do the main business activity, I purchase all of these raw material ingredients. That is my, and when I purchase these items, I will debit purchase account. But I am a furniture maker and I purchase a car. It is neither raw material for production nor is it goods for मेन ट्रेडिंग एक्टिविटी. ठीक है. फर्नीचर मेकर का बिजनेस है फर्नीचर बना के बेचना. इफ यू आर अ डीलर इन फर्नीचर योर बिजनेस इज बाइंग अ चेयर एंड सेलिंग अ चेयर. So car for you, when you purchase a car, it should not be debited to purchase account. It should be debited to car account, asset account. ठीक है. परचेस वर्ड तभी यूज करो व्हेन यू आर बाइंग गुड्स फॉर द मेन बिजनेस एक्टिविटी. ठीक है. सपोज आई एम अ डीलर इन स्वेटर, तो मैंने स्वेटर खरीदा, दैट बिकम्स परचेस अकाउंट. ठीक है. आई परचेज स्वेटर एंड आई सेल स्वेटर. बट इफ आई, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई परचेज अ फ्रिज, दैट बिकम्स एन असेट. वहां पे परचेस अकाउंट यूज नहीं करना. Another point, when do you use sale account? Sale account is used only when the business sells main goods or services. Satyamed Nandedkar, teacher, he provides coaching, collects 15,000 rupees from you. That 15,000 rupees is my income. ठीक है. बट सत्यमेव सेल्स ओल्ड न्यूज पेपर्स एंड गेट्स 500 रुपीज. दैट इज नॉट, वहां पे डू नॉट क्रेडिट सेल अकाउंट, क्रेडिट मिसलेनियस इनकम अकाउंट. सेल वर्ड तभी यूज करना व्हेन यू आर सेलिंग द मेन गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज. इफ आई एम सेलिंग एन ओल्ड कार फॉर एग्जाम्पल, तो वहां पे आई एम नॉट सपोज टू यूज द वर्ड सेल. ठीक है. नाउ व्हेन यू आर थिंक अबाउट a transaction, कि यार whatever sale and purchase or whatever is happening, just ensure that the goods and services you are talking about, they are the main goods and services for the business. ठीक है. अब a business entity often, say for example, अभी तो I gave you an example of a service entity, right? But what if I run a bookshop? ठीक है. I am running a bookshop and I purchase books. Now I am not purchasing them for reading. I am purchasing them so that they can be sold. Selling books is my main business activity. तो यहाँ पे I will debit when I purchase books from my supplier. I will debit purchase account and I will, if I have paid cash, I will credit cash. Why? Cash is going out when I am paying for the goods. Or if I have purchased goods from Urvaksh, my accounting entry will be purchase account debit to Urvaksh account if it is purchased on credit. फिर बाद में जब उसको पेमेंट करूंगा, accounting entry will be Urvaksh account debit to bank account. ठीक है. अब I am repeating, purchase is used only when you are talking about the main goods of the business. ठीक है. अब कैश परचेस का एंट्री है परचेस अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश. क्रेडिट परचेस मीन्स यू परचेज द गुड्स राइट नाउ, पेमेंट इज डन लेटर. ठीक है. उसका एंट्री क्या होगा? उसका एंट्री होगा परचेस अकाउंट डेबिट टू सप्लायर अकाउंट. बाद में व्हेन यू पे द सप्लायर, you should credit supplier account. Now, the term creditor, okay, creditor is used, or trade creditor or trade payable is used when you are purchasing goods, main goods for the business. Tomorrow, if I was traveling with Gaurang and he paid 50 rupees to the auto wala on my behalf. Gaurang ideally should not be classified under a creditor. I should write him under other payables. ठीक है. Creditor या trade payables, है ना? When is the term creditor slash trade payables used? Only when you have purchased main goods and services, right? If I have purchased, say for example, a laptop on credit, it will be creditors for capital purchases. Yeah, long, it will not be classified under trade payables. Trade payables में you will only include the suppliers of main goods and services of the business. ठीक है. जैसे you have purchase, you also have purchase return. You purchase goods from a supplier. For example, I purchased goods from Vikhyati on cash. ठीक है. My accounting entry is by purchase account debit to cash account. Now I purchased 100 units, but I did not like some 8 units. कुछ problem था. So I returned the goods. What is the accounting entry? When I purchased goods on cash, my entry was purchase account debit to cash. Why was purchase account debited? Because purchase is an expense. Debit all expenses and losses. ठीक है. Cash went out, so cash account was credited. Real account का rule apply किया. Now आई एम रिटर्निंग 8 phones टू द सप्लायर. मैं फोन्स वापस करूंगा एंड व्हाट विल आई गेट इन रिटर्न? आई विल गेट माई कैश. मुझे मेरा कैश वापस मिलेगा. माई कैश इज कमिंग इन. डेबिट व्हाट कम्स इन, कैश अकाउंट इज डेबिटेड. एंड when I purchased goods, it was an expense for me, so purchase account was debited. Now, when I'm returning the goods, there is a reduction of an expense. You can treat it like a gain, you can treat it like an income. So, accounting entry is buy cash account debit to purchase return account. डेबिट करते टाइम परचेस को डेबिट किया. व्हेन यू आर रिटर्निंग द गुड्स यू विल क्रेडिट परचेस रिटर्न अकाउंट. ठीक है. नाउ this was an accounting entry when you were purchasing goods for cash. When you are purchasing goods on credit, your accounting entry will be purchase account debit to supplier account. Debit all expenses and losses. Purchase is an expense. Your supplier's name is Kunal. He is a person. Personal account का rule है debit the receiver, credit the giver. Kunal gave you the goods, so you credit Kunal account. ठीक है. एंड लेटर ऑन इफ देर इज अ परचेस रिटर्न, ठीक है, आई वॉज सपोज टू पे 90,000 टू कुणाल. आई रिटर्न सम गुड्स वर्थ से 3,500 रुपीज. सो अब उसको जो पे करना था 90,000, अब वो कम हो गया. वाई? बिकॉज आई एम रिटर्निंग द गुड्स टू हिम. सो कुणाल अकाउंट विल बी डेबिटेड एंड परचेस रिटर्न अकाउंट विल बी क्रेडिटेड. ठीक है. सो दीज आर द अकाउंटिंग एंट्रीज फॉर परचेस रिटर्न, कैश टू परचेस रिटर्न या क्रेडिटर टू परचेस रिटर्न. ठीक है. सेम थिंग फॉर सेल्स. when cash sales happen, debit what comes in, cash is coming in debit cash account. And sale is an income, credit all incomes and gains, so you credited sales account. If it is a credit sale, accounting entry is customer या debtor account debit to sales account. Like we saw for debtors and creditors and trade payables. Trade receivable, the word trade receivable is used only when you have sold the main goods and services of the business. ठीक है. Any other receivable will be classified under other debit balances or other current assets, not under trade receivables. अब सिमिलर टू कैश सेल, क्रेडिट कैश सेल का एंट्री है कैश टू सेल, क्रेडिट सेल का एंट्री है डेटर और कस्टमर अकाउंट डेबिट टू सेल्स. when these goods are returned by you, original sale was a cash sale, entry that you recorded was cash account debit to sales account. ठीक है. अब वही गुड्स आपने वापस कर दिया, एंट्री विल बी सेल्स रिटर्न अकाउंट डेबिट टू कैश अकाउंट. डोंट डेबिट सेल्स अकाउंट, डेबिट सेल्स रिटर्न अकाउंट. फिर पी एंड एल में उसको नेट ऑफ करके दिखा देना. ठीक है. यू हैड परचेस्ड गुड्स ओरिजिनली ऑन क्रेडिट, उसका एंट्री था कस्टमर अकाउंट डेबिट टू सेल्स. अब कस्टमर इज रिटर्निंग द गुड्स टू यू, एंट्री विल बी सेल्स रिटर्न अकाउंट डेबिट टू कस्टमर अकाउंट. ठीक है. अब ये परचेज प्रोसेस वगैरह आई एम नॉट टीचिंग दिस एट SBR लेवल, बट today the focus was on getting the accounting entries in place. ठीक है. Tomorrow I will discuss the next aspect in the accounting process. I'll give you a list of 10 transactions tomorrow morning that I want you to record accounting entries for. उसका मैं आपको accounting entries दिखाऊंगा. From the entries we'll then post it to ledger. Ledger से we'll take it to trial balance. ठीक है. Works.
Yes, sir.
हाँ.